ما حد خش. اوه ايوه اخيرا في حد خش. مين اللي خش؟ اسمه؟ اثنين. نايس اخيرا ما بغينا. اخوان عرفونا بنفسكم. اعظم ستريمر بالشرق الاوسط. اوكي. اعظم كاميرا سنسيفيتي ارفعها. طيب شوف يا طويل العمر ابو مقرن. حي ابو مقرن يا شيخ. ايش رايك الصوت زين؟ ايش رايك صوتي زين ولا قصره ولا الزبده؟ عارف ايش اللعبه ولا ما بعرف؟ الموني لي شو يسوي ذا؟ اوكي حلو. الزبده اللعبه اشرح لك اياها على السريع. أه... انا في مكتب الحالي ما في احد في المبنى. لعبه تعتمد على القرارات.
ترحب بابو
كلكم يا رجال. الزبده
أن تفضلوا.
اصبر لحظة. المشكلة أنا عندي بوت يتكلم معاي. بوت يتكلم يقرأ لي كلامكم. أبو مقرن تركي المقرن هذا أفضل شخص ممكن تقعد معه وتسولف معه. المهم ما علينا. الزبدة نهايتي تعتمد على قراراتكم. يعني في شخص بيتكلم يعني أوافق معه أو أمشي ضده فبشاوركم.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
حلو. شوف الحين يمديني أنا أختار إني أروح الميتنج روم ولا أسحب عليه. عرفت؟ عشان ما أوكي في واحد يتابع أخيرا. الزبدة ف بشاورك يعني أقول لك أدخل ولا ما أروح. تحدد أنت مصيري. إذا قلت لا خلاص بسمع كلامك.
راحوا انتحر.
ليش؟ راح انتحر؟ خير يا ابوي. يا عمي في بوت قاعد يتكلم يعني يقرا الكلام حقكم. وسكته. وش ده؟ طيب وش اسم اللعبة؟ اوكي طلع. اسمها ستانلي مدري وشو. الزبدة نشوف.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ايش رايكم نروح يسار ولا نروح يمين؟ شوف يعطيني الخيار. في احد يا اخوان؟ حلو ما في احد.
يسرى.
يسار. شوف.
Yet there was not a single person here.
يمين.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
يمين.
يا عمي كيف اسكت البوت الزق؟ تسمعون انتم؟
يمين ضر.
تسمعون البوت يا اخوان اللي يتكلم؟ ها يا اخوان everyone is an equal you most.
إيه
ابلش مسكتة كيف. فيديو متوقف مؤقتا صوت فقط. اوكي طيب دقيقة بنروح الاعدادات. اقفل من الاعدادات. الصوت اخراج الصوت. لا اظن من البث. اوامر صوتية ايوه قفلها. اوكي اكتب اي شيء. احد يكتب اي شيء يا عيال. مكمل.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
والله نفسي انزل تحت. ايش رايكم؟ في احد؟ حلو ما في احد.
باء
ابو مقرن. باء الله
أول
اصبر بنت الكلب ذي ابغى اسكتها. لحظة. عملية البث التقاط عملية البث صوت أداة إخراج محدث الصوت محدثة إلى الكلام تحويل محدث البث إلى الكلام. لا صراحة لا. صوت لا يا أخي. اختصار الزر إنشاء تنسيق لقطات الشاشة تنسيق. تنبيهات صوت. والله ما عرفت. الزبدة ما علينا بس عادي. المهم يقول لي اطلع فوق وننزل تحت. شوف في احمر ثاني في نور احمر. ايش رايك ابو مقرن؟ ها في حد؟ اوكي شكرا ما في حد. ننزل تحت.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Shit. أم الغرابة.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control.
الولد مرة ناقد علي هو.
I know
والله
what is
مرة
real
ناقد عشان
and what isn't.
سويت شيء غلط.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
بس the end is حلو اوكي حلو. عجبني. واضح انه في نهايات واجدة مرة واضح.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
واحدة من
mean?
النهايات
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
طيب حلو، معي واحد. مين معنا؟ ابو مقرن موجود؟ الزبدة اللي موجود.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
اروح يسار ولا اروح يمين؟ ها يا اخوان، ترى انتم اللي تحددون القرارات مو بنا، او انت لا صح. طيب واضح انه ما ودي يتكلم. طيب انا بختار اروح يمين.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Hello, okay. Yes,
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
هو طيب شو رايكم؟ اخذ بيت اخذ شو اسمه؟ الباب ولا اكمل قدام؟ والله مكان مغري هنا. الراجل قاعد يشوف بس يبغى انا اخذ القرارات. والله ما ادري اخذ اسمع كلامه ولا اشوف النهاية الثانية. يلا خلينا نشوف.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
طيب. يا ساتر يا المكان. والله تصدق اللعبة والله رهيبة، تستاهل المبلغ اللي شريته. Warning, do not jump from the cargo system. Left while okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh, okay.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
زوجة الشخصية طبعا. طيب. بس انتهى.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
ناخذ ولا افصله؟ ناخذ. وين حطه فيه؟
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who would commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
يقطع شكله. ليش كذا طيب؟
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning. ما ادري وشو. Pressed on the controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
بريس مربع. ما بضغط. بشوف. لو ما ضغطت ايش راح يصير؟ نشوف. اوكي ما في احد معي. اوكي واضح انه يبغاني اضغط مربع.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
يا ساتر.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
يا اخي ما ابغى اضغط يا اخي، فرضا انا ابغى اسفها. سفهته ما خلاني، ايش دعوه؟
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press to...
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your story, your wife, you... Okay.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Allah.
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
اسويها to be at work in the morning.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
To question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
يلا خلنا نعطيه
Maybe this
فرصة.
time.
يلا خلنا
And I
نعطيه فرصة.
tried again. And
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
ايش دعوة يا ترى كنت بخليك. يا ساتر بليز داي. ما توقعته كذا.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
طيب.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
لا 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 افتح. عليك بروح يسار. مو يسار يمين بس.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
رجعنا فوق عند البوس. باثروم. معقولة إلى الآن ما في أحد.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
يا أخي في نهايات واجد في الفيجر. ما ينفع اطلع فوق؟ لازم ايش اخبار الشباب؟ شلون عنكم؟
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh. What the fuck?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
حلو اوكي. حتى هو يبغى يشوف. عجبني.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
وراه زعلان مرة زعلان كل ما اسوي شيء غلط يعني مرة يزعل ما يبي كذا. خلينا نجرب نسويها 3 مرات. كم كان الكود؟ 2 4 8 5. ما راح يصير شيء يعني لو يا عمي. طيب تكلم يا اخي. علمني. ما بنزل تحت يعني ابغى اكتشف.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
انا ارفزه.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
يا أخي يعجبني والله. يعني ردة الفعل حقته رهيبة.
Oh my God, it's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
والله رهيب. Please hold. Okay,
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
والله رهيب والله. طيب خلاص.
All right.
Okay.
I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
طيب الباب ما يفتح. ما يفتح. طيب لو نجرب نروح هنا مرة ثانية ونحط أرقام. اوكي مرة ما يبي ما ودي انه يعطيني نهاية ثانية ومو نهاية ثانية ما عليك.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
أفا يلا نجرب نطلع فوق.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good.
أولف وش ذي النهاية؟
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being. All tracks مدري وشو. How we did it, the pyramids. Live the guy who went to Mars. All eyes on Stanley. Life on Strange. للأسف إلى الآن ما معنا ولا واحد لكن نصبر. And even with the word peace, baby. Okay. The Stanley purpose Stanley. Okay.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
إيش؟ The man, the peace, مدري وشو, the مدري وشو, Stanley from the Stanley مدري وشو, P مدري وشو. مدري وشو, world's first scientist.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Oh. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember we are you where you came from. Your workers. ما ادري شنو والله ما اقرا زين. break a leg, champ. Your boss. الله يا ساتر. ذا كله عشان بس شو اسمه اسمع كلامهم وانه يحفزوني. هذا انا the story ستانلير مدري وشو. break a leg, champ. Your boss. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the park a lot. You are too cool. Good luck on your strange rock on. Sorry, Stanley, me dad, age 6. I love the way you ride elevator. No one tells strange in the way. Got me tired. Okay. والله ودي اقرا هذه لكن ما بواضحة. يلا يا اخوان خلينا نروح نشوف وش يبغون. الله جماهيري. لا داعي لا داعي يا اخوان لا داعي. الله داون يا ساتر قد كذا كلمتي مؤثرة. نهاية حلوة والله نهاية رهيبة.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
شو معنى عليها دي الطاولة رقم TBGH14 F1. لا اوكي انا وسوس. حلاوة اللعبة ان
When Stanley
نهاياتها
came to
مرة
a set
كثيرة.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
نروح رايت.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
احنا رحنا قدام فاحنا بنروح هنا.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
ننزل تحت. أموت لو أموت.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Left?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
يا ساتر أظن بيصدمني. وش فيه هنا؟ اصبر. كل ما امشي. اوكي ما في باب مفتوحة.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
ايش ذا الخياس؟ النهاية الأصلية انحرقت علي. هو أنا أساسا أصلا شفت المقاطع لها وشفت النهايات، مو كلها، يعني أذكر منها شوي. واحدة من النهايات الأصلية هي هذه واللي الشاشات انفتحت كلها. ودنا نحرق عليكم إن كانكم أنتم أصلا راح تتابعون بس ما علينا.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
حلو.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait.
What?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
طيب شوف. خلينا نشوف القصة، نعرف القصة. هو أساسا القصة هي بتكون يمين. بلام له سنة هو يقول لي خلينا نروح مو يمين معليش يسار. له سنة يقول لي راح يسار. ما ودي أروح يسار، في نفس الوقت ودي أروح يمين عشان أعرف وش القصة. لو سمعت كلامه هل ممكن يوديني نفس الطريق ولا كل باب راح يوديني على نهاية معينة؟
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
لا.
I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
لا. طيب كنت قاعد أتابع المتابعين. أوكي. كنت أكلم المتابعين.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
طيب ايش رايك لو مرة هل ممكن يسوي شيء؟ be my valentine. funny صح funny. who farted. للأسف إلى الآن ما حد تابعنا. ما في مشكلة. ما أبوها أحد. طيب لازم أسمع كلامه يعني. I hated Mondays صح؟ Mondays. مستحيل.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
اوكي افتح لي الباب. طيب لحظة، لو ما سمعت كلامه هل ممكن تطلع باب؟ ممكن، ما ادري، او ممكن يتكلم خوينا. طب اوكي شكله واضح انه يبغاني اروح خلاص. اوكي نروح.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
لو عكست سحبت عليه. ما يمديني اركض. صح اللي غصبا علي.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
طيب انا كنت اوه الله. طيب انا تو رجعت. وات شلون؟ وين هنا في؟
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
صعب علي ما اقدر.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
ليش؟ ما راح تسولف معاي؟ يقطع ام المبصرة. طيب يا اخي الرياكشن حقك هو اللي كان يخليني اسوي كذا. طيب انا بقعد عم ما هو يتكلم. خلنا نضبط دقيقة. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. اوكي واضح انه ما يبيني شو اسمه عنده. وانا نمشي مع الخط. طيب ليه ما يقفل علي الابواب عشان يغصبني؟
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa.
What?
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Huh. قطع الايرور. وبعدين لحظة صوت الاغاني مرة اوفر. فيديو فيو خلها عالي. سبتايتلز خلها. ريست سيتنجز لا. وين اوديو؟ ميوزك. الله عجبني والله. Hello.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. لحظة أنا ودي أترجمها. أنا views consolation reports اصبر. هو يقول شو اسمه لازم احفظها زين وافهمها. طالما كذا لازم يعني اكون فاهمها زين. ملفات الافراد هذه وش هي؟ نشوف. حسابات الاقسام هذه نشوف. نرجع دقيقة بين اوقف بس. اوكي نختتم البث هنا يا اخوان، لها شغل الاهل، فنختتم البث هنا وممكن نكمل بعدين اذا لقينا اقبال، ممكن مع انه ما اظن في احد متابع. بالعكس انا اصلا صراحة صدق افتحها عشان نفسي يعني كذا، تضييع وقت، سواليف، عادي شيء اقوله، ما عندي شيء. كسر روتين، مو زي الروتين يعني، انا عادة ما بث، فنفتح بث اكسر روتيني، فقابلكم طبعا غلبكم اخوياي، وما حد اصلا ما حد راح يشوف النهاية، لكن انا بس اقدمها كذا، وان كانك عرفت النهاية ما ادري ارسل لي اي شيء، قل لي والله شفنا النهاية وانت تتكلم، مع اني اصلا ما راح حد يقول لي كذا، بلا راح اتابع طز، بالعكس انا مرتاح، ترى اسويها عشان بس اكسر الروتين. ما علينا، نكمل بعدين. البث بقفله ان كان بس يعني بقدر ابرر لين متى، خلاص كل شيء.